Hi, and welcome to StuTube 6. Today we're going to talk about the myth of teaching to the test. Teaching to the test. What is that phrase? It came on big, around 2012 when they rolled out No Child Left Behind and the Common Core. Ooh, the Common Core. Ooh, everybody hates it, and they make kids take tests and they have to teach to the test. What does that mean? Well, what we can teach you about the phrase teaching to the test is, if you don't know this well, or if you want to use it to instruct somebody else, we'll teach you what a self-fulfilling prophecy is. Because the expression teaching to the test was invented by the teachers who then began to teach to the test. What am I talking about? What am I ever talking about? Let's unpack this. Let's go back to a second to the United States, this vast country, a combination of 50 states combined into one federal republic that does not really work as one federal republic. But we needed that. We need common standards so that we can know what your A in New York means, or your A in Alabama means, compared to my A in Massachusetts, let's say. So we roll out Common Core for various reasons, but that's one of it, to have standards, to see how we're doing as a nation compared to each other. And we always had state testing in New York, but the new state tests that came in 2012, which were rolled out very quickly, without warning, without preparation, they were meant to evaluate not just the students, but the schools and the teachers that were teaching the students who were taking the tests. And the teachers were also charged with, or elected to, as part of a deal. I don't know how it happened, but they're also the ones who were given the role of correcting these tests and scoring these tests, which they were eventually judged on. So they wanted their students to pass the tests. And to do that, they decided, instead of teaching, that they would have to teach to the test, as if the test required some fabulously other set of skills besides math, reading, and writing. And they are not great tests, and there are a lot of dopey questions on them. But if your students know how to read well, do the math, and write clearly, and answer a question in response to a passage they have read, they will do well in the state tests. But teachers decided that they had to teach to the test, and it wasn't about learning, it wasn't about education. But it is. I mean, yes, they had to prepare because their butts were on the line. They had to prepare their students, and they had to take time out from their curriculum to teach, to prepare students for this test. But what they did also, because they were going to be correcting these tests, they decided, and most of the test is multiple choice, so there wasn't much they could do about that, but they decided that, for the writing especially, that they would build into their students certain signifiers, and that if these students put these signifiers into their written responses, they would check off certain boxes and get 3s, which means passing. Doesn't mean excelling, it means passing, so that the school would pass and the teacher would pass. And what happened as a result of this self-fulfilling teaching to the test? We now have 8 years of students who write so poorly, it's execrable. I don't know how all these things came about. That's all speculation. But I do know, because I read these short answers to reading passages and extended answers, I do know that we have now a generation of crippled student writers. Students who can't read a passage, read a question pertaining to the passage, answer that question with their own thought and word, provide examples from the passage in a fluid way, and prove a point. They can't do it. And they still never learn to proofread. What they have been taught to do is answer the question, I know the boy is hungry. No, the passage says that this is very simplistic, but is the boy in the passage hungry? Yes, the boy in the passage is hungry. I know this because in the text it says the boy is hungry. So the boy is hungry because the text says so. It says it in the line 7, quote, the boy is hungry, period, end quote. I swear to God. And not just kids who have no idea what they've read. Kids who got everything right on the multiple choice will still answer the questions. I know this because in the text it says. Instead of saying, the boy was hungry. It's clear the boy was hungry because when he came across a bag of fruit, he ate it all. They don't learn to paraphrase. They don't learn to apply their examples to see if they're saying anything different to extend their proof. They're just taught to be these little robots, and they're all taught this. And they're good kids, so they listen. And even if they know better, even if when they write on their own a free response, it sounds like friggin', it sounds like Shakespeare. When they write these short answers, they sound like dumb robots, like a robot, like something you got from Radio Shack. If you don't know it, it's out of business. So that's an indication of how crappy Radio Shack was. Radio Shack was, you get these Christmas presents. It was like, oh, robot dog, it's gonna do it. And it broke before grandma's sleeping on the couch. So teaching to the test is a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's unnecessary. All you got to do is teach. And that's what we do. We teach you how to read. We teach you how to write like a person. We teach you how to do math and show your work for your own benefit. That was another thing. You'd have to show your work. So this became this huge ordeal. It's not true. If you do the work on the paper and you line it up and you make equal signs and you get it right, you're going to get points for writing it out correctly. So I'm sorry, teachers. I know you work hard. I know you're underpaid. I know. But you created a monster. And I understand why you created a monster. Fear usually generates monsters, just like monsters generate fears. But stop it. Stop teaching kids to say, and I know this because from the text it says, please God. Because if I have to read, well, I will have to read them. So I'm not gonna threaten to jump out on your windows, even though currently I live on the ground floor. But please let it go. Teach them how to write like people, not like. This has been StuTube 6. Stay tuned for StuTube 7. I'm not sure what I'm going to talk about, but come back. It's going to be pretty good. Take care.